perimenopause, menopause, because we all are going through this as women. You know, men go through andropause, as we know, but women go through perimenopause. And menopause, we know, is just one day, as what doctors has prescribed. It's just one day, and you're gonna be you just, that's it. It's 365 days, nothing happens, and that one day on the 365 days I believe we have in the year, they're just going to say, okay, you have reached menopause. But growing up, we had never heard of perimenopause and this pause and so much different pause. We were just told about menopause. We had nothing else that we were ever told. We didn't know anything else about Perry and Larry and Mary. We just know about menopause. So I'm going to just stick with menopause, but for the right terms is perimenopause until that day where you just don't see a period for 365 days. And that one day, on that 365 day, they're going to tell you that you are menopause now. All right, so that's just the breakdown of menopause. But so now what we're going to look at, we're going to look at different teachings. So today is not about panic. It is about, and it's not about fear. It is not about rushing to fix anything. Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. in the morning, heart racing, sheets wet, and thought what is wrong with me? Because it happened to most women in perimenopause stage, where you get up in the night, you are soaking wet. I remember twice I woke up soaking wet. I mean, like wet, like if I took a bath, and I don't know what happened to me. I had no clue what was going on with me. I wasn't aware that it was perimenopause. I had no idea what was taking place. I just woke up wet, and I had no clue what was happening. I was just soaked, right? Only to realize that from time to time I will just bring the iPad up to see who is on TikTok. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for joining. All right. Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. and you realize that you're soaking wet, and you try to ask yourself, okay, what's happening to me? Okay, I think I want to record this, guys, just for the, I think I'm going to press record.
Recording in progress.
Yes. Have you walked into your room and forgotten why you went there? Have you felt irritated over something small and then felt guilty about it later? Have you said to yourself, I do not feel like me anymore? Let me say this clearly. Hi everyone for joining. Thank you on YouTube. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are not losing your mind. You are transitioning. Many of us were prepared for puberty, prepared for pregnancy, prepared for pleasing everyone else, but no one prepared us for this transition. So we live in a world where we were prepared for a lot of different things in life, but no one prepared us for perimenopause. No one prepared us that we're going to go through a stage in our life where we're going to feel this particular way. Okay, next time. All right. No one prepares for this. Everybody tell us we can prepare for college, prepare how to take care of the children, prepare what to do when you get married, prepare how to see about your household. A lot of things we were prepared for, but perimenopause, menopause were left out of that recipe that we were given for life. They remove it completely. No one talks about it because it was like a stigma. No one explained that in our late 30s or 40s, our body would begin to shift in ways we did not recognize. So today we start with understanding. We start with understanding. We don't start with blaming, because our parents, our aunties, our sisters, whoever endured this life at a point of time, they themselves did not know what they were going through. It's because of research and science, and we are more privileged with opportunities now to learn more, so we know more and we do better. Your body runs on hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers that tell different parts of your body what to do. When they shift, everything can feel different. Two major hormones involved in this transition are estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone is your calming hormone. It helps you sleep deeply. It stabilizes mood. It helps you feel settled and relaxed. Here is what many women are never told. Progesterone usually drops first. So before your period stops, before you officially enter menopause, you may begin experiencing trouble sleeping, feeling wired but tired, increased anxiety, shorter patience, feeling emotionally sensitive. That is not personality, that is chemistry. Then estrogen begins fluctuating. Estrogen does much more than regulate your period. It affects your brain, your skin, your bones, your heart, and your body temperature. When estrogen drops suddenly, your brain's temperature control center misfires. Your brain thinks you are overheating even when you are not. That is what causes hot flashes. That is what causes night sweats. You are not overheating. Your temperature system is recalibrating. That 3 a.m. wake up, estrogen interacts with the chemicals that regulate sleep. When estrogen fluctuates, your sleep cycle shifts. You are not broken, you are recalibrating. Now let us talk about the nervous system. Hi everyone for joining on TikTok. We are talking about perimenopause. We are talking about menopause. We are talking about what women have to go through in perimenopause, the stages, different stages. And for the guys that are on YouTube, we are discussing perimenopause. So feel free to come in and share whatever you want on the chats. You could type, and afterwards I will look and answer all questions as best as I could. Now let us talk about the nervous system. Menopause is not just hormonal, it is neurological. Your nervous system controls stress response, emotional regulation, heart rate, and sleep. When progesterone drops, your natural calming buffer drops. Cortisol, your stress hormone, becomes more noticeable. That is why small stress feels bigger. That is why noise feels overwhelming. That is why your tolerance may feel lower than before. That is why you crave peace more than drama. So when all these things are dropping, you realize, you tell yourself that, we have a thing we will say, I'm getting older, I don't want any stress. I'm getting older, I cannot handle these things. I am getting older, I'm going to shift away from some things, right? Because why? All these things are dropping. But remember, we was not educated in what is happening to our bodies. We just tell ourselves it's by age that I just feel this particular way. We was not told that what was happening in our body. We was not told that what we were losing. Now in puberty, all these things were becoming, it was forming. So we had energy to carry on and do more things. So you'll find at a certain age, after puberty, you just get a strength that you didn't even know that you had. You start doing things. You could do laundry, cooking, washing, go to the hairdresser, clean up the yard. There's a lot of things that you could have done all day and you never felt tired. You say, okay, I just need to take a sleep. I'm going to go to bed and wake back up in the morning and I have my energy all over again. And then when somebody tell you, like, I can't do all of these things, I don't know why, I don't know what's happening to me. You look at them like, what's going on with that person? But we was not educated on what was happening to our body, what was leaving our body. We was not told. So this is why we never knew. We just tell ourselves, at this age now in my life, this is what I would like to do and this is how I like things to be, because you tell yourself is that you are getting older. But there were things that were leaving our body. You are not becoming antisocial. Your nervous system is becoming more sensitive. Now let us talk about metabolism. Many women say, I am eating the same but gaining weight. Estrogen helps regulate insulin. When estrogen shifts, blood sugar stability shifts. Muscles also naturally declines with age. Muscle supports metabolism. Less muscle means slower metabolic response. Hello to you, Martinez, blissfully blessed. Gul Muhammad, Mago, blessing to you, everybody that passed through on TikTok. Hi to you guys, and on YouTube. I can't really see your name. Sometimes it will just move up the screen quickly. But thanks for having you guys also on YouTube, and all those who come on Zoom. Good to have you guys on. Estrogen also regulates insulin. When estrogen shifts, blood sugar stability shifts. Muscle also naturally declines with age. Muscle supports metabolism. Less muscle means slower metabolic response. So weight gain around the middle, cravings and energy crashes are not personal failures. Your body is adjusting to a new hormonal environment. Now let us talk about the emotional and identity shift. So here we see that your body, when these things are happening, your body is adjusting to a new way of life, a new system. Everything now is becoming new to the body. Remember, in every how much years, there's new things happening to our body. So when we tell ourselves, why am I getting fat? You realize that I cannot do nothing. My stomach, I could exercise, I could this, I could that. But there's a way to eat to balance all of that. There's a way that we have to eat. All right? And it plays a lot with our mind. You may feel like, I do not tolerate what I used to tolerate. I want more peace. I want stronger boundaries. I feel different. I am reevaluating everything. Menopause often aligns midlife reflection. Who am I now? What do I want in this season? What drains me? What gives me life? This is not decline. This is awareness. This is not loss. This is awakening. And let us say something that is really discussed. There's some things that are really discussed. Menopause can affect confidence at work. Sleep disruption affects productivity. Brain fog affects confidence. Anxiety affects decision making. Health expenses may increase, but very few women were told to prepare for this stage financially or emotionally. Instead, many suffer in silence because we was not prepared for all of these things that is happening to our body. We just suffer in silence because there is no one to speak to. The doctors cannot identify what's happening with you. So where does it leave us as people in perimenopause? Does not look good for us because there's no one that was educated enough to tell us this is what happened with our body. This is what's going on. We just find ourselves going from doctor to doctor, expense to expense, but there is nothing being discussed about perimenopause, what we are going through, and what we are feeling. And it's natural because why the body is doing it to us. We are not making it up. We didn't invent it. It's just part of our body that the progress is going through. And because the doctors cannot identify it, when you come back home and you're telling somebody what's wrong with you, they look at you like you are crazy. The first thing they're going to tell you, no, I think you need to see X, Y, and Z doctor. You need to see this particular doctor because they cannot relate to what you are saying because they were not trained in perimenopause. They got out of 4 years, they maybe get 4 sessions off, which is 4 hours of dealing with menopause. So menopause don't come to a doctor mind because it was never part of their study. They didn't spend time studying menopause. They spent time in whatever they went to study, and that just slipped through them, and that was it. So not until maybe they hear your age, they will say, okay, you are 50-something. Well, maybe you're going through perimenopause. But it starts in people as early as 30-something, late 30s. Embarrassed by sweating, embarrassed by forgetfulness, embarrassed by mood shifts, but silence creates shame. Conversation creates freedom. Understanding removes shame. So this is why we created the Zoom. This is why I decided to go on YouTube. I decided to go on TikTok. I decided to have the Zoom because instead of all these things we could know better, we do better. So we wouldn't have to feel shame. Like in our house here, my son will, if something is happening to me, and say, is it menopause? Because I try to teach him what's happening in perimenopause, what his mother is going through, what she's dealing with. Because if he don't know, he cannot help. He cannot say something to say, okay, well, mom, maybe you need to do this. Mom, maybe you need to do that. Because I am equipping him as a young man to understand that there's going to come a time in life where your wife is going to need assistance. And you have to know, okay, at this age, my mother went through this. At this age, my mother said this is what could happen to so and so. At this age, so I understand. But if you're in a home where it was never discussed, it was a stigma because all people say, she's going through menopause and she's acting crazy. Just leave it alone. So when that is identified, menopause is identified with a woman who is crazy. She's going through crazy menopause. Just pack her aside. It's no big deal. She just needs to go in a corner. But we are still living. We still look good. We still dress and go to work. Some of us still go to church. Some of us can't do anything. Some of us have to stay in a bed all day. Some of us are locked in a room and we want to be isolated because this is how menopause can make you feel. Like you want to isolate yourself from people because no one understands you. No one can share in what is happening to you. No one can relate to what's going on with you. Thank you guys for liking the live. No one can do anything for you. So you are so confused. Hi, Mary Love. Good to have you on. Hi, Ava. Hi, P. Hi, guys, for stopping by. So you see what happened? Nobody is able to help you in this stage. So what you do now, you shut yourself out and you just become isolated. Because people cannot relate to you, people cannot understand the change, people don't know what's going on. So who do you talk to? They will tell you that you are making up all these things, they'll tell you that you are crazy, or something is bothering her, I don't know what it is, she doesn't want to do this again, she doesn't want to do what she used to do, and nobody understands. I just cannot do what I used to do, because my body cannot push the way it used to push. All right? Menopause is not a disease, it is not punishment, it is not weakness. It is a biological and emotional transition into a new season of womanhood. So today, rest in this truth. You are not losing yourself. You are evolving. You are not fading. You are refining. You are not ending. You are becoming. We will begin discussing how to support this transition with practical strategies. You have to sit and understand you are not alone. So you are not alone. And when we understand that we are not alone, it makes us feel better. That I can call Sister Ron, I can call Sister Mary, I can call Sister Marlene, I can call Sister Mary and say, this is what's happening to me. I don't feel good. And that person can relate to me because why? That person has been educated in what I am going through. But if I'm calling somebody who have never been what I've been through, who have never had an experience like what I've been through, the first thing they will tell me is that, but I've been through menopause, I didn't have that. No, we are not discussing about what you have been through and what you had. If you know what perimenopause brings and what comes with it, you will say, okay, I know. Yes, good. Talk to me. But if somebody will tell you, well, all I had was hot flashes, but perimenopause comes with about 69 symptoms or 70 or maybe 50 correct symptoms that they can identify. Some doctors are saying it's 100 symptoms. So think about you having 10 symptoms out of 100. Think about somebody who has 20 symptoms out of 100, because we just don't know what symptoms we're always going to end up with, right? But we do know that we do have symptoms based on perimenopause. So where does it leave you when I call you who was never told about perimenopause, never was spoken about it around your environment? You just will be like, oh my goodness, I think Susan is going crazy. We need to pray for her. And yes, you have to pray in perimenopause because you need your mind to stay safe. And you have to have that mental balance in your mind. We know all of that. But what about the other part that needs to treat the body because I'm not crazy? And nobody could help me because nobody understands what I'm going through. They just assume that I'm making it up. I just don't want to work again, or I might just don't want to cook again, I might just don't want to wash again. But the body is doing something, because when all these three things go from the body gets weaker. Right? Is anybody following me so far? Anybody could say anything? Anybody could type something and understanding what I'm saying? For years, menopause has been whispered about. Our mothers did not prepare us. Our aunties did not explain it. Doctors often rush through it. So when our bodies begin to change, we think something is wrong with us. It's not about fear, it's about education, and it's about understanding. Menopause is diagnosed after 12 consecutive months without a period. Perimenopause, the transition phase, can begin 8 to 10 years before that. Some women begin noticing changes as early as age 35. So think about it. At age 35, you might now get married. You might now think about having children. You might now think about doing a lot of things. And you come into the stage of perimenopause. You see how educated we need to be on perimenopause, because it starts at an early age. For everyone, it's different. Yes, age 35. Yes, age 35. It starts at age 35. So it comes in at a lot of people at a different age, right? So we don't know what age it's going to happen to somebody, but we know what age it happened with us. Menopause is not a disease. It is a biological transition. Let us talk about what is happening in the body. There are 3 key hormones to understand. Estrogen helps regulate temperature, skin elasticity, mood, and vaginal health. When estrogen fluctuates or declines, women may experience hot flashes, dryness, mood changes, and sleep disturbances. Progesterone supports sleep, calmness, and emotional balance. When progesterone drops, anxiety can increase, sleep becomes lighter, and irritability may rise. Cortisol is a stress hormone. When cortisol remains high due to ongoing stress, it can worsen menopause symptoms. Increased belly weight disrupts sleep and heighten anxiety. When estrogen and progesterone fluctuate, your body feels unstable. When stress increases, symptoms intensify. So if I had all of these in me and now I'm losing it, this is the reaction of what is happening to me because I'm losing all these things. All right? So nobody can tell you that you are crazy, you are mad, you are this. It tells you that all these things once was in my body and now it's declining. So I am losing all of these things. And because I'm losing all these things, now I understand why these things are happening to me. So because I know what's happening to me, I will react different when I start to feel anxiety, when I start to feel like, oh, something is bothering me. I start to just think of something. I'm just having a mood swing. But then I understand, okay, it's because of perimenopause, this is happening to me. So I could calm myself down. I could think differently. I could speak differently. And I could react differently. I could go to my bedroom and close my door, read a script here, and to stay calm because I know what's going on with me. Now, if I didn't know what was going on with me, where does it leave me? I will just have to react to everything that is around me. Or somebody says something, before I answer, I have to remember the way I want to answer them. I would have going to answer them 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, 2 years ago. But now I have to think now before I answer because I know something is wrong with me. In a sense, I'm losing certain things in my body and it's going to make me respond not the way I'm supposed to. So because we are educated, because we understand, and we doesn't need a degree, we are taking our own symptoms and putting it into pen and paper, and we are being educated to know how to deal with things and people and places. So if you know a place is going to trigger you, you will not go to that place. You know a show is going to bother you, you're not going to go to that place. Because simple things could trigger you in perimenopause without you even being aware of it. I could be writing and tell everybody I have to go, I have to close this Zoom off, there's something I need to attend to because something is happening to happen to me. But before now, I will go into a panic mode. Now I know, okay, right, there is something happening because the body switches at any time, any place, anywhere. It does not give an account. All right? So just remember that there's no place and time for you to have an episode. There's no place and time for a mood swing. There's no place and time. You cannot predict where it's going to happen and when it's going to happen. But what you do know, you feel like if something is happening and you need to just get away from everybody and calm yourself down. You know there is something coming on. I need to drink a bottle of water. I need to do something. So you know what's going on. There's a time that you know there is something. Thanks, Mama Oracle. There's a time that you know that something is going on in perimenopause because when you train your body and you train your mind and you know what's going on, you know how to handle the symptoms better than if you didn't know. All right? A little again, I would say amen. Good afternoon to you, Ma. I hope you guys are good on TikTok, yeah. And on Zoom, everybody seems to be good, and on YouTube, everybody's okay. So we are getting somewhere understanding the mood swings and how to deal with it. Common symptoms many women ignore include hot flashes, night sweat, brain fog, mood swings, weight changes, joint pain, low libido, and extreme fatigue. Brain fog is not stupidity, it is hormonal fluctuation. Mood swings are not weakness, they are chemical shifts. Fatigue is not laziness, it is your body working harder to rebalance itself. Now let us talk about stress and menopause. Menopause plus stress equals amplified symptoms. So what we don't want to have is menopause and then have stress. I mean, things is going to come, things is going to happen, but we don't want to just have stress. Lack of sleep increases cortisol. High cortisol contributes to belly weight gain. Emotional stress worsens anxiety and irritability. When the body feels constantly pressure, it struggles to regulate hormones effectively. Your body is not attacking you, it is asking you to slow down. Here are 3 practical steps you can begin immediately. Reduce caffeine if you struggle with anxiety or sleep disruption, because we all know caffeine keeps us awake, right? Create a consistent sleep routine by going to bed and waking at the same time daily. Set one clear boundary this week to reduce emotional overload. Now let us discuss something really taught: financial preparation. We were prepared for weddings, we were prepared for babies, but no one prepared us financially for menopause. Menopause can include medical visits, hormone testing, supplements, therapy, time off work, lifestyle adjustments, and increased self-care needs. This is why a menopause savings plan is important. Set aside a small monthly amount, especially for health needs. Budget for supplements and wellness support. Plan for medical testing or specialist visits. Create an emergency cushion for unexpected health expenses. Preparation reduces panic. Planning builds confidence. Menopause is not an ending, it is a hormonal shift into a new stage of authority. So if our parents had told us all these things, they tell us get insurance for this, get insurance for that, get insurance for all different type of things. But nobody take a moment to tell us, okay, do a little savings when you're doing all of that, because you're going to have to do this and you're going to be need to do this. No one has prepared us for all of these things. So we prepare to send our children to school, we're sending them to good schools, to college, to this, to that. And sometimes all the money that you spend on some of these children, and you can't locate them when you're in time of need. And I'm not saying don't take care of your children. That's not what I said. I'm say, right? I'm just saying is that we spend so much money behind our kids to make sure they are okay. And when we are finished now, what happened now? We get off a stage and age where the children now will look back and say, well, Mom, you should have saved for this time. You know, this was what he's going to go through, but you didn't know. So sometimes we spend so much money behind people and things. In your 10 years or 8 years of cannot do anything for yourself, the same children are not going to come back and say, okay, let me help my mom. Let me help her with her dishes. Let me help her with her laundry. Let me help her to send her to a doctor or something. Let me see what's wrong with the mother. Because children have some children, not all of them, is just going to forget that they have a parent, and they're just going to go on their merry way. So in doing everything and taking care of everybody and taking care of your household, remember, perimenopause is coming as early as age 35. Remember to have a menopause savings, because I don't have one, because no one prepared me for it. So if I feel to eat something, if I don't have the money, I just do without it. If I can't pay a bill, I just can't pay the bill, because why? No one had prepared us for a menopause plan to say, okay, at this age, this is what's going to happen. So as much as we tell ourselves we are at this age and we are learning about menopause, perimenopause, it's important for us to teach our girls, children, our nieces, everybody, men, women, everybody, to know that this is going to come into your household at the age of 35, or let's say 40, 45. You're still working, you have not retired as yet, right? So let us educate our family on how to deal with this situation, because it's going to come. As I say, some people could go through it, some people will not be able to go through it, in the sense of will not be able to say, okay, I can do this, or I have to do this. I just can't go further. I just cannot go further, right? So we want to have a little saving funds, and we want to make sure that our family is educated on what's happening. So nobody look at you when you're walking on the wall or there and you're dragging on the wall. They'll be like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with her? She's making up this again. No, something is happening to me, because nobody likes to be dragging. Nobody wants to be in pain. Nobody wants to be able not to go to work and be able to do the things they used to do. I miss going to work. Why? Because I could have buy what I want. I had money to spend. I had things I could have do. But I can't go to work again because of perimenopause. And people might tell us that, oh, she's just making it up. No, my work is night, or it's 24 hours. It's only 2 things I can do. That is what is my trade. So where does it leave me? You understand? So this is why I'm out here advocating for people, for women, for families, to know fully well that this is going to happen, and we need to prepare differently. All right? Many women in this stage become more confident, more direct, and more self-aware. This is a transition into wisdom and strength. So you'll find now in this stage, a woman will just tell you, what you said? Okay, no problem. Fine, it's okay. No, it's okay. And you're telling yourself, you're expecting a different reaction. Why? Because this little bit of strength that she has is her survival strength. She doesn't have strength to do all of the things that she used to do. All of the arguments she used to argue, she does not have the strength for it. So you find now she's just moving herself away. She's trying to put herself together and get her mind together, get her body together. And then you'll tell yourself, oh my goodness, she's ignoring me. She doesn't do this again. No, she does not have the strength to fight with you anymore. So everything now become a yes or a no direct. And you tell yourself, oh my goodness, what is happening here? You was expecting something different. She does not have the strength for it. So you find that people say ages bring wisdom, and the wisdom it's bringing is that we don't want to fight no more. The argument we used to have, we don't have it anymore. The fight we used to have in us, we don't have it anymore. The tolerance that we used to tolerate, we can't tolerate anymore. We are short of those things. Why? We are losing all of these things in our body, and the little bit that we have is just to sustain us, not to fight with you. All right? Your body is not betraying you. It is transitioning. Reflect on these questions. What symptoms have I been ignoring? What stress must I reduce? What financial step I can take this month to prepare for this stage of life? With knowledge, preparation, and support, this can become your strongest season. And I will end with this because I want to finish at 10. I will at 11, which is 12 Trinidad time. We have more here to do, but we will come again and do another session at another day to be announced. But for now, we said we were going to do an hour, and this is an hour. So I'm going to give the apostle, if he wants to say anything, I know he's at the clinic, so if he can say something shortly before we go. Apostle, you can do so. Hi, Brown Sugar. Hi, Rosa. I don't know if the apostle is in position to just share something on the men's side, because he has some knowledge on perimenopause, because he has to deal with me as his sister constantly. So if he's in position, I'm not sure if he's in position to just share something with us quickly.